My name is David Andimi. Wherever you're watching us from, if you're watching from Nigeria, I say good evening. Of course, you're going to be here by 6 p.m. in the evening. If you're watching us from Ghana, probably going to be by 7 p.m. in the 5 p.m. or thereabout in the evening. From wherever you're watching from, I want to welcome you again to the second edition of the Afrosum Faith Tourism talk show. It's a pleasure to have you wherever you're joining us from. Once again, my name is David Alimi. Thank you. You're welcome. Yeah, today, just like we did the other time, just in case you missed the first edition, you have the opportunity of listening to all those things once again, but from a different personality, from somebody else again. So you're going to hear a different perspective of all that we discussed before now, and of course, a different dimension to uh, what actually the pilgrimage has to do with Turkey as a nation. I can assure you that you're going to be having a wonderful time listening to us from wherever that you're listening to. Where I am actually the consultant for pilgrimage in Afrosum Holidays. Afrosum Holiday is a professional company with over 20 years experience of tourism for holiday pleasure and religious tourism like we're talking about. So one of our uh, baby projects is what we are discussing today, which is a Christian pilgrimage to Turkey. Over the time, people wonder when you say pilgrimage to Turkey and people are not able to actually fathom how that could be. Like you say, pilgrimage to Turkey, the perception of Turkey as a nation is it's a Muslim country. Yeah, but there are a whole lot that Bible has mentioned about Turkey. It will amaze you that there are so many things about Turkey that is just tending towards Christianity. And today you'll be able to also learn all those things. And I'm sure by the end of the program, you will be considering Turkey as a place for your Christian pilgrimage. I want to also say congratulations to Christians that are watching us, the Catholics, the other beliefs, for a wonderful the Passion of Jesus Christ week that just ended. I know a couple of persons have been fasting and been praying. I know God, in His infinite mercies, will answer our prayers and also say this is the time to start preparing for your pilgrimage. And of course, when you pray and you all have been reading Bible continuously and you have been seeing encounters, so many things in the Bible, it's time to actually go on maybe a Christian tour. And of course, you can actually be looking at Turkey as place to come for pilgrimage. Yes. To help us do justice today to Christian pilgrimage talk, as we might not know, is a wonderful man of God. You know, when you're talking about something that has to do with Christianity, of course, the people that has more understanding, that are understanding deeper, are the men of God. So of course, they have read through the Bible from cover to cover, exploring what is the journey of Jesus Christ, what is the journey of all the man of God, actually, what is the story of Christianity, so to speak. So they know appropriately. And that's why we brought you today a wonderful man of God, a general overseer at that. So his name is Pastor Adeosho Adewale John. He is the founder and general overseer of the Voice of Yahweh prophetic ministry. The church it's about 24 years old, and that's a lot if you ask me. And the church is actually in Ibadan, Oyo State. It's a pleasure to have you on our program today, sir. You're welcome, sir.
You are welcome, sir. Mr. David, God bless you.
Like I just did a brief introduction of you, I would appreciate if you can just say one or two things about the church, just in a way of
Well,
introducing yourself
the
again.
name of the church is the Voice of Yahweh Prophetic Ministry. Like Mr. David has rightly said, we are 24 years old this year. It has been a long journey anyway. We have branches in so many places. We have a camp along Ibadan, if especially at Ibadan. We're based in Oyo State at Ibadan. Thank you
All
very
right,
much.
that's beautiful. Thank you very much, Pastor. It's a pleasure to have you on this program.
You are welcome, sir.
Yes, our viewer from wherever you are watching us, once again, I want to say welcome. Try to just sit close to your computer, or maybe you're using your phone. just try as much as possible, just listen. I can bet you they are going to be having so much to also see. I can see so much you can also hear from us today. So I want to indulge you to take your time, just maybe 1 hour or just a little above 1 hour. We will be done with this and you'll get all information that you might. Of course, you might want to ask some questions. You can just drop the questions in the comment section as the live program is on. All right, so we'll dive into it quickly and very fast. Pastor, like I was just trying to introduce,
Yeah.
Christian pilgrimage, sometimes people, yes, they know about it, and some people just go on the Christian pilgrimage, they really do not know what it is. Maybe they just see people going actually, then I can also just go. So I want to quickly just want you to tell us what
Okay.
exactly is Christian pilgrimage and what is the essence? How does it affect salvation and belief?
Thank you, Mr. David. Christian pilgrimage to me, I think, to God be all the glory, it's not what I can just say. Uh, it's what I've experienced a lot about. I think being to Jerusalem, I can't count the times. I've been to Jordan, I've been to many places, and I've seen a lot. I've been to Turkey. And Christian pilgrimage to some people is, like you said, is just going, it's not that. Christian pilgrimage is to expose and to make and to give you enlightenment about what you are reading in the Bible. I mean, to understand deeper the Word of God, to see what you are reading physically. Like, like when I was in Turkey, I see some things. Like when I went to the house of Paul Father in Tarsus, you see, you will see that this is where Paul was born exactly.
Mm,
When I go to Ephesus, I see the house that Mary lived last. You see a lot of things. So it makes you to understand that Bible is real. It's not just
mm,
a written document.
mm,
Real. It's something that people are saying, not just they are not just phantom things and writing
mm,
it down. No,
mm,
it is real,
mm.
spiritually and physically. So it
Wow.
brings enlightenment. It brings spiritual understanding. It makes
Mm,
you to know that Bible is not just a book.
mm,
It's something that we need to know and something we need to see.
mm,
My encounter in pilgrimage has told me a lot, has given me so many experience, a lot about Bible.
mm.
And till now, I've never been tired of going because I
Wow.
want to keep seeing more. Because I
Mm,
want to see more. I want to understand more. I want to more enlighten. Like
mm,
the way I will speak about Bible, the way I will speak about what I read and what I see, different from
mm.
someone who have seen it alone.
Yeah.
Like, let me share an experience with you. I happened to sponsor a man, an old man, sometime around 5 years ago. When this man went and come back, you know what he said? He said, if I do not see anything again in life, this what
Mm,
I see has made me to realize that heaven is real.
mm, mm,
So it's more than what people are saying. It's something that everybody need to see.
mm,
Every Christian need to see need to undergo what is pilgrimage.
mm,
It's not just say I'm going, I'm going. No, no. We need to experience it. We need to understand that it gives much enlightenment. That's the
mm.
bitter truth.
All right.
Much enlightenment.
Yeah.
Clearly.
Yeah. Thank you very much, sir. That was so insightful. Yes, if you're watching and you just felt like, okay, Christian pilgrimage is just okay, I will just go. You can hear Pastor Adetoso just saying it clearly how it is. It is way beyond the you just want to travel and just see Christian places. You're expected to put a synergy between it, what you have read in the Bible and what you are actually seeing. So that is for the things and is actually very important. Of course, you also mentioned that it's going to what boost your salvation because what you have read, it gives you the full understanding that okay, yes, it is not story, it actually exists. Thank you once again very much, Pastor.
Thank you, sir.
All right. I want to quickly ask you, would you say Turkey stands Christianity inclined? Like, is it Turkey inclined somewhat? Maybe based on history, would you say Turkey is actually inclined with Christianity?
You know, the issue of Turkey is exceptional.
Mm,
I would say that. If you mention Jerusalem now, people know that Jerusalem is a Christian, whatever, and people want to be there. Like when you mention Jordan, like the first time I'm going to Turkey, friends were asking me, "Are you going to a Muslim country?" People were asking me, "No, Turkey is a Muslim country. You are going to no, don't go there." I said, "Let me go and see what is happening there." But when I got there, it's so different from what happened there. So different, totally different. And if I should say clearly, Turkey is beautifully and totally inclined. Yeah. Now the question is, if I should ask anybody, why is it that in Turkey all these seven churches of revelation comes out? Why is it that in Turkey, if you look at all these seven churches we are talking about, the revelation does not just come out. It's either in Turkey or at the border of Turkey. Ephesus, Pergamos, Laodicea, whatever they call, Tarsus, whatever, they are either in Turkey, inside Turkey, or at the border. So, I mean, God has something to bring out there. So, some people may not, I don't know. It's not about Muslim. And when I go to Turkey, the issue of this Muslim colonized whatever Muslim country is not even there. Because, like Jordan, when I go to Jordan, I can see that, like some other country, when you go there, you see that this place is a Muslim country. It's not like that in Turkey. No. I've seen people that living a liberal life. They are enjoying themselves.
Yeah.
They are not hostile. They welcome everybody. I was there. It's a total welcome, one to one. You welcome us. You can't even read that. You can't even read the what they call this religious whatever on them. You can't read it on them. They are so good, so nice. They welcome us, so good to us. So Turkey to me is inclined, very, very inclined. And there are so many things that has been attached, even by God, even from God to Turkey that God knows about. Why is the revelation coming out from Patmos? Why not in the city in Jerusalem? Why not in another place where God has chosen? Why in Patmos? And you can see that the revelation is so clear. Though it was John that wrote it, but I knew that Jesus himself is giving the revelation to John before he begins to write down.
Yeah, definitely.
So Jesus gave him the revelation. Why is he giving that revelation at that particular place? It's something that anybody needs to see. Mr. David, we need to see it.
Thank you very
It's
thank
more
you.
than what we are just hearing.
Yeah.
It's more than
Thanks.
that.
Thank you very much, sir. I think that's a very clear explanation that Turkey is actually inclined to Christianity, you know. And like he was mentioning, why? Why do you have those places? Why do you have Tarsus? Why do you have the Revelation churches? Why are they mentioned? Why are they mentioned and they are all in Turkey? Then God is actually pointing towards something. Thank you very much, Pastor, for that beautiful response. Okay, so yes, if you are just joining us, this is Afrosum Tourism event, live event. We're talking about a Christian pilgrimage to Turkey. So you have not missed so much. We on our program today is Pastor Adetoso Adewale John. So we don't did not spend so much. So you did not mix so much yet. So you can continue to listen to us as we examine how Christian pilgrimage to Turkey is going to look like. All right, Pastor. I just wanted to also mention again, like I know you had already started touching them to an extent, but now you have the opportunity to explain it fully. Like, what are those events that happened specifically in places in Turkey? For example, we mentioned Tarsus, which was the place of birth uh, of Paul, Apostle Paul. Of course, Ephesus is also there. You know, different places. What are the events that actually happened there? What events actually happened there according to the record of the Holy Book Bible? Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Let me just say something significant about this Ephesus. You know, immediately the journey of Apostle Paul and John was so tremendous in Ephesus. I mean, they did a lot there. It was in the place they put down, they rebuilt the court of Artemis and winning many souls for Christ in Ephesus. And more, what's really baffled me is that even in Ephesus, the mother of Jesus lived in there. That was her last place. That was the place she lived at the end of her journey, at the end of her life. No, these are the things that I'll begin to ask myself some questions. What, why are all these places? I begin to look at it. I begin to look at it. Why? Look at Tarsus in Turkey, where Apostle Paul was born. We were there, and I see a lot of things happening there. I look at, let's see, something like Acts 22, verse 3, 28. Mention it clearly. The house of Apostle Paul's father in Tarsus. It is there, according to the Bible. It can be changed. It is there. And we look at Acts 18:15. You see what really happened in Ephesus. I mean, the tomb of Apostle John was there. Why was it there? A lot of things that all these things are happening. You begin to ask, why are they all in Turkey? And all these countries were either inside. I keep saying it. Were either inside Turkey or at the border. They are not far to Turkey. They are not very far to Turkey. They are either inside Turkey or at the border of Turkey. So there is a mandate from God for all these things that are happening there. Very beautiful one. I can say, when I was in Turkey, I've been to some places in Turkey. I've been to Cappadocia. I see a lot of things. And those things that are happening there, biblically mentioned there. In fact, I went to a place where these Christians were hiding under the underground when they are being persecuted. They are still underground there. We went there. We went there. That this is the place that Christian, all those things, there. All these things happen. Even why the house? I saw the house. There's just water coming out underground that house. No. All those things were still there. So there are a lot of things that happen that you can clearly see that God has a purpose for that country. I keep saying it. God has a purpose. And I will say it clearly. If there's any Christian who has not visited Turkey, they must prepare to be
there. Thank you. Thank you very much. We had mentioned Tarsus and we have mentioned Ephesus. Which other names of the cities can we actually mention again that the Bible has majorly mentioned that we have in Turkey?
We have Pergamon, we have Thyatira, we have Sardis, we have Philadelphia, we have Laodicea. All these things were in Turkey. And these are the 7 churches. These are the 7 churches that Apostle John mentioned in his revelation. All of them were in Turkey. All of them. The Ephesus, the Smyrna, the Pergamos, the Thyatira, the Sardis, the Philadelphia, the Laodicea. All the 7 churches were in Turkey. Yes, sir. They are in Turkey.
Yeah, we'll be able to expatiate on the 7 churches much later. But sometimes when I just think about it, when we say Galatians, the book of Galatians is very popular. And I was able to find out, or we read and saw clearly that Ankara, the capital city of Turkey, is actually Galatia.
Of course.
It's actually interesting, Then now one can now start saying that, so all the people that we're reading about as Galatians, they were actually the people that lived in Ankara those years.
Of course.
So it's actually interesting to have such information about Turkey. And like you said, if you have not gone around, if you have not come to see it, you might not really understand. So like Pastor just mentioned,
can't understand it.
Yeah, like Pastor just mentioned, I think it's important to come around and really see those things for yourself. If you don't see them, you might not be able to understand what we're talking about. Thank you very much again, Pastor. Yeah. So we'll proceed. In Christendom, one of the very popular and prominent apostle was Paul, and he has a peculiar story. And the story is just when he started his life, he was always he was one that was leading the persecution of Christians, and at the long run, he was now the one that traveled farther than every other apostles, than every other person that have taken the gospel of Jesus Christ all over. And he was one that was persecuting them before. So, such when we now think about a person like Apostle Paul, then he brings your minds to how very important he is in the Christendom. So, and we are not looking at it. How would you explain Apostle Paul's tie with Turkey? Yeah, we know he was born in Turkey, but how well do you think this has to do with Christianity as a whole? Yes, as an apostle Paul said yes.
Can I say something? Well, people might not, but I will say it that Apostle Paul is one of the great father of faith. He is someone that God has chosen for Christian liberation. You know, in the beginning, he's not really fully among the apostles, among the disciples. He came later. But he did more work even than those that lived with Jesus Christ. He did more than them. And throughout his ministry, his life, Apostle Paul has laid a legacy which every Christian, every pastor, every prophet, so-called, whatever we call ourselves, must try to learn from. Yeah, must try to learn from. You know, there are a lot of things I learned from this man that has been an encouragement to me. Personally, he doesn't take the work of God with a levity. He did the work of God with passion. And he did it solely to God, not to anybody. And you can say the tie he has with Turkey, one, he was born right in the Turkey. His father's house is there. I've been there. In fact, there's a particular well in front of his father's house. I drank from the water. In fact, I call this one a miracle water because if there's a well that has been existing in the day of Apostle Paul's father, and the well is still alive to today.
Yeah.
So clean and so clear. I drank from the water. I call it a miracle water. In fact, I brought some back home to my family. The well is still there since the days of his father. So if I should count here, we're talking about 3,000 to 4,000 years ago.
Yeah.
And the well is still there. So not 1,000 years, not a 2,000 years. We're talking about a 2,000 or thereafter, years ago. And the well is still there. Cool water. So Apostle Paul has a great tie with Turkey. And he can claim it anywhere. He was born there. He raised up there. And he grew up there. So it's something that he cannot deny. His father's house is still there. I told you I'm there. That particular well in Texas in front of his father's house is still there. So yeah, what I would just be keen to tell people is that it's worth seeing. Mr. David, it's worth seeing. There's no amount of how we can explain this thing to people. Them. You know, most of the things that happened in the Old Testament, this and that, some early years of Jesus Christ happened in Jerusalem. But from the the book of the New Testament go upward, most of them happen in Turkey.
Yeah.
So I see Turkey as the place of New Testament.
Mm.
Yes, that's
Mm.
what I see. So Apostle Paul have a great tie to Turkey.
Mm.
It must know. That's it.
Yeah. Interesting. Thank you very much for that beautiful response, sir. Yes, once again, if you're just joining us, this is Afrosum Faith Tourism. We are discussing a Christian pilgrimage to Turkey. And we have Pastor Adetoso Adewale John with us to discuss it. Yeah, so Pastor just mentioned how Paul, as an apostle, how his ties actually affect religion. Paul was born in Tarsus, and interestingly, Tarsus is actually in Turkey here. And he carried his ministry. Yeah, according to record, he's the one that traveled most places more than every other apostle, even to carry the gospel. He has a wide range of travel. If you read up, you can actually find that information. That Apostle Paul really traveled and covered so many places, taking the doctrines and the preachings of Jesus Christ all over the places. And the interesting thing about him is that he was not with them at the beginning, but of course he was able to do better than every other one, maybe from record. So, Pastor, I would just want to ask you, would you rather say that pilgrimage in Turkey or the Christianity locations in Turkey is tilted to the Orthodox, or is tilted to the Pentecostal, or it is actually together? But because if you ask me, my own personal opinion is that they are not different, because everything that has to do with Christianity, it is just one. So if you think we're probably okay, it started this way, it started the other way, it has not changed. The most important thing is that the Old Testament gave back to the New Testament. I don't know if you agree with that, sir. So there is no how you can make an account, you can make a reference to Old Testament without mentioning something that happened in the making a reference to New Testament without making mention of what has happened in the Old Testament. Because without the old, there can't be the new. Because it's the old that actually taught the new. So what do you say in that sense? Because sometimes people might just feel like,
Well,
well, it's not Pentecostal, it's Orthodox, it depends. What do you think?
well, you have rightly answered the question. You can't do. There's no way you can do with the Old Testament without being done with the New Testament. The Bible makes us to understand that Jesus is not in the world to write off the Old Testament.
Exactly.
That's what Jesus said. So if you say you are Orthodox, you are Pentecostal, or whatever, you need the knowledge to know what happened. Yeah, you need to understand this. Bible is Bible.
Exactly.
Fine, we have the Old Testament, we have the New Testament. Bible is Bible. Bible is not different from any Bible. And when you read the Old Testament, you don't know what is in the New Testament, you might not be able to understand very well. Let me say something. Do you know that there is this gap between the the the, the Malachi and the Matthew? 400 years. 400 years of silence. We call it, the theologians, we call it 400 years of silence. But do you understand that that 400 years was being ruled by the Constantinople in Turkey?
Thank you very much.
Do you know that? It was being ruled by Constantinople in Turkey. You know, Byzantium, the Constantinople, and others, they rule within that 400 years of silence, which we call the year of silence. You know, this thing happened between the 400 years of silence, Turkey, and the book of Malachi and Matthew. it was 400 years of silence. But there is a government that is ruling them, and the government is in Turkey, Constantinople.
Beautiful.
So what I was saying, so you
Mm.
can't just do that one. It goes straight to each other. So you come from Old Testament, the time of silence, then to the New Testament, you need to understand everything. If you really want to be a Bible scholar, you want to understand what the scripture says, you need to know everything. That is why you can't avoid anyone. So they are see what is happening there. That is why you say, I understand the scripture, I understand the Bible.
Yes. Thank you very much, sir, for that insightful explanation. Yeah, for somebody that probably will not understand the Malachi and Matthew that you mentioned, Malachi is the last book of the Old Testament, and Matthew is the first book of the New Testament. So he was saying that between that period, because those were documentations, between when the documentation stopped in Malachi, so there was a lacuna, there was a space, there was a break of communication, there were no documentation, so to speak, before the Matthew started again. So it was clearly saying that the Constantinople, which is in Turkey, was the one that was ruling it. That is another very important point for you to know how Turkey is actually placed when it is Christianity issues. Turkey is really, 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 really inclined in Christianity wide. All right, thank you very much, Pastor, once again for that beautiful response. So once again, if you're just joining us, it's Afrosum, Faith Tourism. My name is David. I am the pre-image consultant at Afrosum Holidays, and I have with me Pastor Adetoso Adewale John, the founder and general overseer of Yahweh Prophetic Ministry in Ibadan. The pleasure to have you once again with us, Pastor. Yes. Yeah, and I hope our viewers are actually enjoying the insight and the information that you are giving as regards to Christianity pilgrimage in Turkey. All right. The mother of Jesus is somebody that is highly revered. Catholics that I know never jokes with mother of Jesus. There's a special services, there's special events in the honor of her, and of course, every Pentecostal churches or every other denomination that you might probably belong to actually revered her as the mother of everybody. Sometimes you pray sometimes and you say, "Only Mary, Mother of Jesus, help me." Sometimes like that. And it means she's somebody that is very important, and which means every account of our lifestyle is also important to Christendom. So, Pastor, I would just want to quickly mention and say, what record of Virgin Mary does the Turkey have? And what do you think is the specific significance to Christianity? And probably just tell us where it happened or something like that. Thank you, Pastor.
Yeah, like I think I've mentioned this briefly before, that Mary, the mother of Jesus, lived her last life in Turkey. I've been to the house. I was in the house. I know the house. Right inside Ephesus. She lived there. I think after the persecution and all the rest, she went with Apostle John. And there they lived together till she died. So that one has brought a kind of significance. If no country, if no places accepted her as the mother of the Lord Jesus Christ, and inside Turkey, she's been accepted, she's been welcomed, she's been hosted to live peacefully till she died. Then, what significance are we looking for again? She can die anywhere in the world, but God make it to happen in Turkey. God make it to happen in Ephesus, right inside Turkey. So what I'm saying, so she had a kind of a record and a relationship with Turkey. Because I know by the time she's living there, if she's not living a peaceful life, she will not be able to live there to the end of her life.
mm,
But she was being hosted with a peaceful, she was being welcomed in a peaceful way. And she lived there till she died.
mm,
So everything she did after the death of her son,
mm,
our Lord Jesus Christ, was done in Turkey. So I know the house she was in, she lived in there.
mm,
Like I said, even there's something that baffled me about that house.
mm,
That there's this a miracle water coming right from the room. She has a particular room in that house
mm,
that she lived in.
mm,
Right from that room, on the floor, a water is coming out there.
mm,
I keep asking God, why? What a miracle this one is again. The water is coming right from the room, flowing down to the outside.
mm,
Not from the parlor, not from the other room, but right from the room where she lived.
mm.
The water is flowing on the ground. The floor is outside. So God has arranged things in a way that it is marvelous and mysterious. Until you see these things, then you can understand it.
Mm.
Until you see them, you can't understand it. So Mary, the mother of Jesus, has a very great relations with God,
Mm.
and it's very specific,
Mm.
very, 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 very. And there's nothing we can't deny that one. So it happened and it happened. God has brought her there to live the rest of her life. So she's in there. So,
Mm.
Turkey, Catholic, Pentecostal, or whatever, we can't argue that this is where she lived last.
Mm.
Yes, she lived in there last. So we can't argue that. We
Mm.
can't argue that. So she has a great relationship with Turkey.
Wow.
Yes, that's the way I see it.
The way you were just mentioning it, I was just there because when it comes to the Holy Mary, Mother of Jesus, there's always a subtle part of the story that actually touched people. Like, okay, she just conceived of the Holy Spirit and she gave birth to Jesus Christ. So such person, such character it's somebody that you always want to accord a lot of respect, even while in a grave and everything. So you don't. It's not somebody that you joke with. So when you're mentioning the water springing out from a room, of
Yes,
course, we cannot expect less with somebody that is highly favored by God. You know.
highly
Um,
favored.
yeah,
Highly favored.
Pastor, you have the opportunity to discuss your experience from town to town as almost at the end of the event. So I want to reserve that because I almost wanted to ask you the place at the House of Virgin Mary where you had to tie a thing about your prayers and stuff, where people light their
Yes.
candles and stuff like that. So
Well,
anyway,
yeah.
you will share that with us much later in the program. It's a very interesting and very heartwarming thing to know, and of course we might not get feedbacks from people that have gone there, but of course I know that there will be testimonies from different places that, oh yes, I said these prayers and this ways and these things happen because that is somebody that is highly revered and highly favored by God. Anyway, you will talk to us about that briefly, Pastor. Thank you very much for the response so far, where we really appreciate your responses. They are actually hitting the point in right and super. Okay, yeah. One of the most important thing that Turkey as a nation, as a as a or is having as hedge or attraction, so to speak, or something that draws the attraction to Turkey is the constant thought, like trying to fathom why are we having 7 churches in Turkey? Why? You just keep asking yourself, and if you look at the chart or on a map, the churches are just like arranged like they are
Yes.
like following themselves. You know, the 7 of them, they are within axis of the Izmir, and you just keep wondering. I Well, growing up, I read the Revelation. I have heard about those churches, but if somebody will have mentioned to me that those churches are in Turkey, I was like, no, it's not possible. Until I was discussing with the with one of our father in the Lord, one of our pastors, like, oh yeah, all those 7 churches the Revelation mentioned, they are all in Turkey. I said, no, you can't be saying the truth. He said, yes, they are. And I went back to go and read. I read all the stuff. I saw all the name of the churches, and on my own, I now picked the name for each one and started searching. And I saw that they are all one after the other. They are all in Turkey. You know, and it was also mentioned, according to Revelation, it was mentioning those kind of churches, giving examples and how the churches are expected to live, the ones of the lukewarm church and all those things. So, well, Pastor, I want you to give us an extensive explanation regarding these churches, one after the other, from the beginning to end. And I know that some of most those churches have their different titles, as some are so some, like I just mentioned, the lukewarm church and the other one. So I want to just extensively just explain to us those churches and what is your perception of their being in Turkey? What do you think their importance in Turkey? What will it do? What will somebody visiting those churches as mentioned? Because somebody might just think that it's just a story that the Bible just recorded. But interestingly, all those churches are right here in Turkey. Pastor, you have the floor. Thank you, sir.
Okay, let me start from here. Do you know, I want to say something before I go to the Antakya of today is Antioch of then.
Exactly.
Why all this?
Mm.
Antioch was one of the at least prominently mentioned in the Bible, but today is now in Turkey, Antakya of today.
Yeah, that was actually where the Christians were first called Christians.
Good Christian. That's what I'm saying. So you can see that the way God arranged this thing is something is serious. It takes grace and closeness to God to understand this thing. Where they were first mentioned and called Christian. The Antioch we used to read in the Bible is in Turkey, Antakya of today.
Mm.
And Antakya was still there to today. I mean, it's still there to today. So these are the things we need to know. Now back to these churches, 7 churches. So we have the church. All these 7 churches were tailored to the main churches and whatever. God has a revelation for them. And God has given each churches different revelations. God has given them different vision according to what God had assigned for them. Like the church of Ephesus. The church said the church that has been abandoned its love for Christ and its teaching. That they abandoned their love for Christ and the teaching of Christ. That's the book of Revelation chapter 2, verse 1 to 7. It said they have abandoned their love for Christ and their teaching for Christ, they have abandoned it. Now, Ephesus was the prominent commercial and cultural center of Asia Minor. Then, and Turkey of today was Asia Minor, we mentioned it.
Exactly.
And Ephesus was there, was India. And God is speaking to the people of Ephesus in the Asia Minor of Turkey of today. About the revelation of what is happening at this end of the time. That look, at the end of the time, church will need to be very careful because as God is speaking to church of Ephesus, might not really mean Ephesus. God is giving revelation that will happen at the end time. For the old church at large, that look, a time will come when you want to live the law for Christ and abandon the teaching, which probably is happening now. It's even happening now. We should not deny that. The law for Christ has been abandoned. Then we have the church of Smyrna, the church that remained faithful amidst persecution. So it means some churches are still going to remain faithful, whatever they are facing. And Smyrna also is in Turkey. So Revelation 2, 8 to 11, they are all there. These are the things we are talking about. Smyrna was a home of a large Jewish community, hostile to Christian. Yes, they are hostile to Christian. These are the things that God wants us to understand about this end time. Then we talk about the church in Pergamos, the church that compromised its belief. Revelation 2, chapter 12 to 17. They compromised their belief. And especially the city of Pergamos was known for its pagan practices. Even then, they were known for their pagan practices. They have compromised their belief. So all these things were in Turkey. God has given us a revelation that we all Christians need to know and understand better. And then we go to the church of Tatria. That's number 4 church, the church that follow false prophets. How many people are following false prophets today? Revelation 2, 18 to 29. We need to know all these things. All these things is explaining to us what we need to be careful of, what we need to know and what we need to understand. But why I am concerned is why all these messages are coming out from Turkey. You can see that God has a purpose and a reason for all this. Because these are the messages that concern the old churches all over the world. And God is speaking to the world right inside Turkey. The voice is coming out from Turkey. Yeah, God is speaking to all the churches all over the world right inside the Turkey. No, these are the revelation. And they are real. We read it in the Bible. We all see it. We have the Thyatira church that follow first prophet Revelation 2, 18 to 29. Then another church that we have here, is another church of Philadelphia. The church that patiently endured despite weaknesses. They endure despite their weaknesses. They stood for God. They endured to the end. Philadelphia was a home of synagogue community, hostile to Christians. Yes. It means even during the Asian man, they have their own synagogue. Revelation 3:8. Yes, it is there. Then we have the church in Laodicea, the church with a lukewarm faith. Revelation 3:14 to 22. All these churches were there in Turkey. Let the Christian ask a question. It's like God is bringing a white from the black. Can we say that? Now you say the black is not useful. You say the black is useless. But why did God do it that way? That is something we need to know. We need to know what is in there. We need to really understand. And I will say this is the major reason why the attack of Ottoman is on Turkey. Yes. It can never be erased. It can never be erased, sir. Mr. David, it can never be erased. The letter, the written, the revelation, the vision can never be erased. No matter how far, no matter what is happening in Turkey, it can be erased. We need to see it. Very significant to all the Christians all over the world. It's something we need to know. It doesn't matter what we are. It doesn't matter who we are. What matters is what God is bringing out of us. What God is making us to be. God has established Turkey to be something to the Christian in the whole world. You can't read the New Testament without understanding what. You can't ignore Turkey. How can you ignore Ephesus? How can you ignore Laodicea? How can you ignore Pergamos? You can't ignore all those places we are talking about in the Bible. And they are the last written of the Bible. And you know what? When it finished, said, you should not add or remove from this.
Yeah.
So you cannot do without them. You can't do without all this letter. So, and all this letter comes from Turkey. So if you are not telling me that Turkey is not important, I think you need to look into that. Turkey is very, very important to all. Very, very important. It's something we need to know, something we need to understand, something we need to see. Because merely saying it now, you can be hearing it. In fact, some people may not even believe what I'm saying now.
Of course, yeah.
They may look at it, maybe they will look at it, maybe they are partners, maybe they are working together. That's why I say, no, it's not. I've been there. I keep saying it. Thank God there's one of my partners in Jerusalem online now. So I've been there. I know what I'm saying. I know what it's not just saying. All these things happens in Turkey. So I will encourage you. You just have to be there. Seeing is believing. That is all. Seeing is believing.
Thank you very much.
Seeing is believing.
Thank you very much, Pastor, for that wonderful explanation. You know, well, like you rightly mentioned, some people like, are you? What are you talking about? 7:30 in Turkey? How? Well, well, to actually help you with that, you can visit our website actually www.earlychristians.world, or you can actually visit the christianturkey.com. So which you will see all those information as it's going to be scrolling on the live page. So you can actually visit and see those information for yourself, and to further get those confirmation, just like you are very inquisitive, like okay, you're inquisitive, you don't think it's actually correct. Yeah, we'll be glad to welcome you and take you through the places. Yeah, we're glad to welcome you and take you through the
Of
places.
course.
Thank you once again, Pastor Adetoso Adewale John. Yes, this is the time we've been waiting for, Pastor. So I want you to now, you know, passionately take us through your journey when you were here in Turkey. How it started, from where you went from to where, what and what you did at points, what are the lessons that you draw? Would you rather say is what visiting, or okay, just come and just see Turkey? You know, I also wanted to share your experience with us fully so that our viewers can actually listen and learn. And maybe by the time you finish, they will just start packing their bags to visit Turkey for Christmas beginning. Thank you,
Thank
Pastor.
you, Mr. David. Thank you, Mr. David. Uh, Sharing my experience in Turkey, I must confess, I've been to so many places in America, London, so many places. I've traveled far and wide. You know, my impression when I was going to Turkey is less. Let me be sincere with you.
Mm,
I didn't expect much in Turkey.
mm,
I didn't expect much because it's not a country that's been mentioned. America, London, you know, just like that. But when we got to Istanbul, I mean, my dear brother, welcomed us and he took us to the hotel. By the time we got to the hotel, it's something else.
mm.
It's something else. We were taken around the hotel and I began to ask, is this 10 star or 5 star? Mr. David, I'm serious. Oh.
I can
Some of the
imagine.
colleagues, if some of the colleagues who went together were hearing me, they will begin to signify true or not.
Mm,
I began to ask myself, is this 10 star or 5 star? You know, like I told you, I've been to America, I've been to London, I've been to places, I've been to different hotels. Then I asked a question from somebody. I said, look, how often do Turkey travel out of their country? The response was, they don't used to travel out.
that is the truth. What are you looking for?
But the comfortability in their country is enough for them to go out of their country.
Mm,
Because whatever they say they are going to look for outside is right in the other country times 10.
mm,
This must be true. So by the time we said, and the trip then was a kind of a trip that we almost fly every day.
mm,
We don't go by road.
mm.
We took flight almost every day. Everywhere we're going is by flight. Everywhere we're going by flight. And I tell you, it's a total different experience.
Mm.
Total different experience. I mean, I mean, I call him my brother. I call him brother. Yeah. You see, the package and the I don't know. I don't know. The package and all the rest is super.
Mm.
We cannot. We were taking sometimes they take us outside of the hotel to go and eat.
Mm.
Sometimes we eat inside the hotel, and most of the time there was a night they took us outside the hotel to go and eat. Mr. David, we nearly said we don't want to eat again because this food they place in front of us. In fact, if I can begin to share pictures, I have a picture. When they begin to give us food, everybody were looking at say, excuse me, you don't want to kill us because this is
Mm.
more than food. This is more than food. And the package, the tall side, and something unique about this Afrosum, they make your tourists so unique. Like they will allow you to see the pilgrimage site and some excitement site.
Mm.
You know, not they will do it in a way that everything is not pilgrimage. They do some packages. There was some time I told Emin, if Emin is hearing me now, they will took us to to the boat at night, cruise, do the night cruise. And in fact, there was a time I said, Emin, don't wake me up again. I'm not going. People will go there, they will do the cruise, night cruise, they will go on the water, they will drive them right the water. And all this is pilgrimage also.
Mm.
This is not happening anywhere. Mr. David, it's not happening anywhere. No,
Mm.
it's not happening anywhere. I can say this. I've been to so many countries for pilgrimage. It's not happening anywhere. They will do the package. You will so much enjoy yourself that you see the pilgrimage side. You will see the fun side. You enjoy yourself. There was a time we were taking. I forgot the name of this place they took us to. I wish I could remember.
Mm.
Sorry, the hotel was being on the water. You are in your room and you are seeing the swimming pool, the water right is under your room. In fact, you jump from your room to the water and swim. And after swimming, you come back to your room. I
Mm.
asked them, I said, I mean, what is it? I said, look, if you want it that way, I'll do it that way for you.
Mm.
And by the grace of God, we are doing the package now. June, I'm coming back again.
Wow, that's
That year, I'm
interesting.
coming back again.
Mm.
My, my wife, my family, my friends, some pastor friends, they are coming back again.
Mm.
I cannot, there's no way I can explain that.
Mm.
Mr. David is unexplainable.
Mm. Yeah.
I can
Mm.
say it 100 times. The Afrosum, God bless them.
Mm.
God bless
Amen.
Afrosum. They have
Yeah.
this kind of package that if anybody goes there with Afrosum, they cannot regret spending their money.
Yeah.
Yeah, they can't regret spending their money.
Thank you so much, Pastor, for that much accolades. You know, well, you heard it by yourself from him. He was there, and he said it was not just the pre-debate site top.
No, no, no,
There were extras. There were so many things that they did. You know, so well, we don't need to keep talking about it. The next thing for you to do is to start planning on what to do. Yeah, Pastor, what would you say in the pilgrimage site, in all the pilgrimage sites that you were, which one actually was most exciting for you? Like, yeah, this is something else entirely in all the pilgrimage sites that you visited.
you mean in Turkey?
Yeah, while you were in Turkey, yes. When you were going through all, of course, I know that all of them. There's no one that you can actually say is not surprising. Is it the whole community under the ground where you were mentioning earlier, where people
Yes,
were
yes.
for years, running from
When
persecutions
we
and
get
all
the
that.
when we get to the underground, it
Mm,
was another thing entirely. We were take there right inside the underground. We went there, we saw it how people lived under the
mm,
when they are being persecuted. That's
mm,
another thing entirely. We went to Cappadocia, you see all these houses there, all this. You know, what I'll talk about this miracle water, I'll keep saying this in Paul's father's house at Tarsus.
mm,
To me, I keep saying it's a miracle water. If this well has been existing more than 2,000 years ago, and the well is still there till now, Mr. David, to
interesting.
me, it's a miracle water.
Mm,
More than 2,000 years ago, can
mm,
you? Apostle Paul himself has been more than 2,000 years ago, and we're talking about when his father was alive.
mm,
He has digged the well, and the well is still there till now.
mm,
There is nowhere in Turkey that is not excited.
mm,
Very, 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 very excited. There is nowhere you visit. They take us to, I mean, if you love to market, you go there and market. If you love to do pilgrimage, you do pilgrimage. I tell you, we were taken to so many. When we went to the market shopping, I see a lot of things there. Somebody was asking me today because somebody was asking me that, when am I going? He said, can I see something to buy in Turkey? I said, buy in Turkey. Are you asking me? You want to buy the whole Turkey?
If you want to buy the whole Turkey.
There is this clothes, something in, is it attire or is it an attire which we went to buy some clothes there, everything. So I cannot, let me tell you, Mr. David, if you ask me, there's nowhere in Turkey that is not exciting. We talk of hotels, we talk of the sites. We were taken to this place, this hot water place.
Okay.
Where you put your leg inside the hot water. You keep asking, how come? Asking, how come? You do some this leg therapy or whatever we do there. That's why I said the package is more than picking.
Yeah.
It's more than picking. When we get there, in fact, everybody nearly lost control because they keep asking themselves, why this thing? It's not as if they put the hot water there. God created it there. It was God's creation. The hot water flowing on the ground, and you put your leg in there for some time. You do this leg therapy. You do all the rest. Look, if I can, and they even told us that we have not seen anything. Then, even for what we have seen, we were told that John, you have not. Amen said, John, you have not seen anything. When you come back here, you will see more. That's why I want to see more.
All right, Pastor, we'll be glad to have you once again, so that you can see more.
I want to see more.
All right, viewers, wherever you are watching us from, it has been an awesome moment with Pastor Adetoso Adewale John. We actually thank you so much for the time spent with us, and I think our viewers from wherever they're watching from, they have a full insight as regards to Christian pilgrimage to Turkey. And of course, I hope and somebody will just be, okay, I actually want to see what is happening in Turkey. And I like you rightly mentioned, that apart from doing the pilgrimage prayer packages, of course, there are other things that you would benefit as a pilgrim to Turkey. So we want to thank you for joining us from wherever you are joining us from. We appreciate your time that you have spent, and we thank you very, very much. Pastor, we say thank you very much. We pray that Almighty God will continue with you and expand your coast and increase you as much as you want in the mighty name of Jesus. At this point, we want to once again thank you for joining us, and we love you. We hope to see you as soon as possible in Turkey for your Christian pilgrimage. And like I said earlier on, you can check our website for a full information about every site that has to do with Christianity in Turkey. You can go to earlychristians.world. I repeat again, www.earlychristians.world. World as in WORLD. So there you have all the information that is necessary for you to be able to know about the Christianity pilgrimage in Turkey. The program is, the package itself is interesting, and you can contact us. There are contacts that are displayed on the screen. So you can call us, you can send us a mail to book your Christian pilgrimage to Turkey. We'll be glad to welcome you. We'll be glad to give you all the experience that Pastor Adetoso mentioned. So, and we hope to see you. Thank you again once again, Pastor. I hope anytime we call on you again to discuss, you'll be willing to join us.
I'm there for you.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, our viewers, once again. Do have a pleasant evening. Goodbye. Thank you.
Hagia Sophia.